What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Saturday. Welcome into another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt. This podcast being brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. $5 play gets $50 instantly in Pick 6 credits, and you get it with this week tomorrow for an NFL slate. Week 13, get up to a 50% winnings boost when you opt in for all players who are going to be on the DraftKings Pick 6. Okay, so not a great day yesterday, but we were 1 point away from a tremendous day. 1 point. That's betting. If the Raiders weren't the Raiders, if the Raiders kick a field goal there, they beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs should have like 5 losses. Talk about living vicariously. By the way, for all you guys who were like running around saying like the 03-04 Patriots were the last team to have this many, and they won this, guys, you know that the Patriots went a decade from 05 to 15 between championships. When they started to win games by minuscule, tiny margins, they didn't win for a decade after winning 03, 04, okay? They won it in 05. The 03 season was when they got 11 wins by 1 score, and they won it all. But then they won it all the next year as well. The Chiefs have already won 2 in a row, going for a record 3rd in a row. Does that look like a championship caliber team to you? I mean, the mistakes, the penalties, whew. I don't know. Okay, sure. I guess so. You want to bet the Chiefs? Go ahead. I will not be doing so in the postseason, but that's why we play the games, I guess. But the Raiders, if they kick that field goal, it goes over. It fell 36. So we lost that. The teaser comes in. I added that. Raiders easily cover the 15.5, but they lose on the hook for the same game teaser. Georgia Tech gets it there for us. Thank goodness we had that, because Nebraska, Iowa, that was the bad bet of the day. That came nowhere near close. And the Celtics won by 9. Won by 9. We laid 9.5. They won by 9. So Raiders, Celtics, unfortunately, that knocks it down to a 2.4 losing day. 1-3 on the day, down 2.4 units. We head towards Saturday. We head towards the last college football regular season day. We have reached the end of college football, regular season football. That stinks. But we get championship football. And did you see Georgia Tech? Little insight into what I think is going to happen this coming Saturday with picks and plays. I'm going to follow what I think is going to be a crazy day for us with the college football playoffs. Why I took Georgia Tech plus 18.5. You got to go for 2 at the end of regulation there. You can't go to overtime on the road. You lose in 8 overtimes. That was brutal. They had so many chances to win that game. But you never go to overtime in that situation. You just go for 2 right then and there. Don't play around with that. Coaches, come on the road against a top 10, top 5, top 2 team in the country. What do you have to lose? Go for 2 there. End the game right there. 8 overtimes and you lose that thing by 2. Yuck. But 18.5 came in easily with us on that. Before I give you the picks for this Saturday, reminder on the live chat, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time on the BettingPros Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat to join. We've had over almost 200 people in there every Saturday. So this is going to be fun. So I'll give you my full card, although I got 4 plays today. I don't know how many more extra plays I'll have. Maybe 1, 2 extras for the live chat, but we'll go through line movement and whatever happens, what we think the line's going to go to, and injury news and whatnot, college football playoff scenarios, stuff like that. We'll go for half an hour from 8 to 8:30, 11 to 11:30 Eastern time on the Betting Pros Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat to join. So feel free to hop in on that coming up here for today. Again, before we give you the picks, let's talk about our friends and this is an awesome time to get involved with Omaha Steaks. Food. I know we're all stuffed, right? But nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. This year, skip the holiday hustle and bustle and save 50% off gourmet gifts site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, get a $30 reward card when you shop early and score an extra $30 off with the promo code JUICE. With 5 generations of experience, they consistently deliver the world's best steak experience, and their gifting experts At Omaha Steaks, they've made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully curated gift packages starting at $89.99. From legendary steaks to mouthwatering desserts and more. Save 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, Juice listeners get an extra $30 off with the promo code JUICE and a $30 reward card when you shop early. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $30 off with the promo code JUICE. Minimum purchase may apply. Okay, enough of that. Let's get to the games here. Let's start with the Iron Bowl. Alabama-Auburn. I've been to 5 of these. I covered Alabama for 5 seasons. This game is ridiculous. Throw the records out. I'm telling you, throw the records out. Georgia Tech, see Auburn, Alabama. Okay? Auburn, Alabama is going to be awesome. Look, the Crimson Tide losing to Oklahoma, you tell me what they're playing for. You tell me. A outside crazy chance they make the playoffs? Come on. Okay? No, this team is deflated. Now, you might go, Matt, they're going to come back and hammer Auburn. They're going to be so fired up. Big problem. Auburn's playing their best football of the year right now. Auburn's going in there with the intention of winning this game. Don't really get the line move. They beat A&M by 2 last week in overtime. Incredible game. They lost to Vanderbilt, and that was kind of the eye-opener. Wow. But they beat Kentucky on the road. They lost by 4 to Missouri on the road. They lost by 18 to Georgia on the road. Their last 3 road games, they've covered 2 of the 3, and they were dogs in all 3. Plus 1.5, plus 3.5, and plus 21. Here they are at plus 11.5 up against an Alabama team that was favored by 14 points on the road at Oklahoma, and they got curb stomped by 21. Alabama's been awful on the road, but they've been good at home, like we know. They're 4-2 on at home ATS. They're just 2-3 on the road. Auburn, though, is 2-1 on the road, like I mentioned, and I think they're playing really good football. I think this is too many points. I think Alabama's going to be in for a dogfight here. I think Auburn's got a chance to potentially beat Alabama, which would be just doomsday to lose 4 games in the regular season if you're Alabama. Give me Auburn plus the points. Auburn plus 11.5 for 1.1 units. Bet number 2. We go to Tennessee at Vanderbilt. This is a crazy year. How about the Vols? Diego Pavia, this dude is 6-0 ATS as a double-digit dog this year. 7-1 ATS in that spot since the start of last year when he was with New Mexico State. In his whole career as a dog, Diego is 16-7 ATS. Over the last 2 years, Vandy is 4-0 ATS when facing a top 10 team, according to the Action Network. That's the most wins without a loss for any team in the country. Now, Tennessee, they're 1-2 straight up on the road this year. They lost at Arkansas. They lost at South Carolina. This is a danger spot here, and the numbers climbing. It's Vandy plus 11. It was actually open at 12.5. It's come down to 10.5. Come back to 11. Tennessee, 6-5 ATS, 4-3 at home, but 2-2 ATS on the road. Vandy, 8-3, 6-1 ATS against the SEC, and 4-2 at home. They did not cover against South Carolina. They got worked, but they were 6.5-point dogs. Lost by 21. Against Auburn on the road, they were catching 8.5. They won by 10. If you look at the home numbers, though, it's quite remarkable. Home against Texas, plus 17. They lost by 3. Against Alabama, plus 23.5. They won that game by 5. Against Missouri, catching 17.5. They lost that game by 3. When they are big dogs this year, they are 4-0 ATS. Missouri, Alabama, Kentucky, and Texas. And they're big dogs here, catching 11 against a Vol team that hasn't really shown me a whole lot. They're 2-5 ATS against the SEC. What are they playing for? That loss to Georgia killed it for them. What are they playing for? They lost by 14 to Georgia. They lost to Arkansas. They only have 2 losses, but they're not playing in the SEC championship game. And you can say, okay, Matt, they have to win this game and get themselves potentially into an at-large bid. And that's possible just depending on how things shake out. But I think Vanderbilt's going to say, you know what? We're going to beat you, much like Georgia Tech just did to Georgia, trying to keep them out of the college football playoff. Vandy's got the same motivation here. 11. Give me Vanderbilt plus 11 for 1.1 units. Staying in the SEC, these teams haven't played since 2011. It is Texas and Texas A&M. College Station. The Aggies are a home dog in a game that they must have to make the SEC championship game. They got to win this game. Texas is probably in. They know they're in. They only have one loss. That one loss was to Georgia. But realistically, who has Texas played that's really good? Like, they played Michigan early when Michigan was, we know they suck. They played Oklahoma on a neutral. Oklahoma's not very good. They played Georgia and lost at home. They beat Vanderbilt but didn't cover. They whipped Florida, but, okay, is Florida any good? Like, seriously. Like, they got hot, but is Florida really good? Are you going to bank on, Texas going they're going to go on the road and do really well because they beat Florida at home by 32 points? I don't know about that. On the road to Arkansas, they won by 10, didn't cover. At home against Kentucky, laying 18.5, they won by 17, which is impressive, but how good is Kentucky? Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Notre Dame, the A&M's record's incredible. They lost to Notre Dame in the first game of the year by 10. They haven't really beaten anybody either, but they're at home. And they've lost 3 games in a row against the number. They're 1-2 straight up. They're 2-2 straight up over the last 4 games. 2-2 of those games at home. They're 2-4 ATS at home, but this is a tough place to play. This used to be played this game was played every year in the Big 12. This was a massive rivalry in the Big 12. This place is going to be bonkers. College Station is going to be going crazy. And people, look, I'm not one of them. I've seen games at Kyle Field. I've seen Alabama play Texas A&M at Kyle Field. I wasn't overly impressed with the atmosphere. I thought it was good, not great. But people tell me that I just saw an off night. It wasn't a typical environment for the Aggies. This building is going to be just crazy tomorrow. Give me the points. Night game at College Station. They got the yell practice the night before and the bonfire and everything else that they do going into this game. This is a big boy football game with Texas A&M against Texas. A lot of emotion going into this game. I'm taking the 5.5. Give me A&M plus 5.5. And finally, the game, Michigan, Ohio State. Can Michigan keep the streak alive? I don't think so. Do I want to lay 21 points in a rivalry game? Absolutely not. However, this is a nugget uncovered by the Action Network, which is pretty damn cool. How to bet this thing. Anything that's 10-0, I'm going to bet, okay? And that's what the over is. It's 10-0. Ohio State, Michigan, 10-0. Going over by an average of 16.6 points. Total is 42. Weather's going to be fine. It's going to be cold, but nothing windy, nothing crazy, okay? We saw a offense from Michigan put up 50 points last week against Northwestern, but still they scored 50 points. Michigan scored 50 points. We know that Ohio State can score. We know that Howard can lead this offense and the wide receivers are absolutely legit. And we know Ryan Day's not going to stop. Okay, this guy, this game almost got him fired. Okay, if the coaching change didn't happen at Michigan and this was Harbaugh on the sidelines, this could be for Ryan Day's job because he couldn't beat Harbaugh. But I think he'll be able to beat this Michigan coaching staff. They beat Indiana 38-15, went over 52 last week. They beat Northwestern 31-7. They beat Purdue 45-0. This total being 42 is low. This is a low total. I'm going to follow the trend. I'm going to bet the over for the game between Ohio State and Michigan. I think Ohio State wins, but I'm not going to get involved with laying 21 points in a big game like this. 4 official plays for us here today. Auburn, plus 11.5 for 1.1 units in the Iron Bowl. Vanderbilt, plus 11 at home against Tennessee, for 1.1 units. Texas A&M, plus 5.5 at home against Texas for 1.1 units. And the game, Ohio State, Michigan, over 42 for 1.1 units. 4 official plays for us here on a Saturday. Let's hope the dogs are barking. Let's hope we get rivalry Saturday. We get some chaos and craziness going on for the college football playoff. Talk to you at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Discord channel for our live chat, our last one of the regular season. After this, I don't know how many we'll do. We'll do some, but maybe we'll hold it to the playoffs. I don't know. We'll see. I'll tell you later on that. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt. Every morning, it's the Daily Juice Podcast presented by DraftKings.